The impacts of time are rarely more evident than a place like Zion National Park. The Virgin River carved through here for eons, leaving behind the bluffs and iconic formations millions of visitors come to see and explore every year. More recent history has sometimes overshadowed these legendary views, though, as rumbles of doubling the cost to drive through the park have raised eyebrows from rural Utah to the streets of Washington, D.C.
Well, a lot of people believe that because we have 4.5 million visitors who came here last year to the park, they put that in their calculator, they multiply it times $30 or $15, and they think, how can the parks be, needing more money? Because that's such a large sum of money. And what a lot of folks don't understand is that the money that comes through the park, through visitors, through the fee gates, can only be used for certain things. We can't hire interpretive rangers, we can't hire law enforcement rangers, we can't hire maintenance workers or crew workers. As visitor increases have taken place over the last 10 years, our annual budgets have decreased. So it's not a real good equation for continuing to run the park. We're going to run into a problem, and that's why Zion National Park has embarked on what's called a visitor use management plan, and that is to figure out how we can better manage high visitation with our limited resources and our limited infrastructure.
As money from entrance fees is taken by Congress and used elsewhere, all while lowering the park's budget, ideas for using these limited resources have become more clever and innovative. One solution has seen private entities step in to help keep the park running. American Express, who is currently giving large grants to Zion for improvement costs, is one of those partners.
If we don't have enough funding from Congress to manage those kinds of things, we have to rely, and we do rely heavily on our public-private partnerships.
We don't have enough park rangers, and so we rely on our volunteers to help run this place. And we are also one of the parks that does not have enough housing for volunteers, and so I turn away hundreds of people a year that want to come and help their national park, their public lands. We were presented with an opportunity through the National Park Foundation and through the generous donation from American Express to build 2 to 3 new trailer pads specifically for volunteers that can work in any of our park divisions and help our 4.5 million park visitors in countless ways. So we now have places to put these volunteers. They're going to come and stay for 2 to 3 to 4 month stints, so they're really going to get to know the environment and the park really well, and they're going to be able to help us on the front line. So at the visitor center desk, they're going to be able to help us out in the campgrounds, at the pedestrian entrance.
The American Express grants will allow park resources to expand, not only because Zion won't have to cover the cost for the housing units, but more volunteers will mean fewer new rangers will need to be hired. It won't, however, fix the ongoing congressional budget battles that continually siphon entrance fees from the cash-strapped national park.
If we could just make some changes, some small tweaks to some of the accounting rules, then we could better fund the park, we could have better experiences for visitors. It could all work out great. We just have to make some of these changes at much higher levels than at the park level.
You can't help but look at the rippling stone of Zion and feel a part of time's endless tapestry. These canyons and cliffs will be here long after we've all been ushered along life's path. But hopefully, political short-sightedness won't keep visitors from catching a much grander view of time as they take in the wonder that is Zion National Park.
A river environment, slot canyons, world-renowned hikes, and we're also close enough to other parks like Bryce and the Grand Canyon that a lot of people make a big grand circle. So it's just a wonderful place to live and work.
From the overlooks of Zion, I'm Joe Davis.